She looked me dead in the eye, me, the bride, and said, I don't see why family should have to sit in the back. She had moved herself to my seat at my head table on my wedding day. Okay, so the wedding was small, maybe 60 people, outdoor venue, string lights, the whole thing. My husband Marco and I had spent 4 months on the seating chart alone. For months. Every table had a card, every card had a name, every name had a reason for being exactly where it was. The head table was me, Marco, our two best people, and our parents. 6 seats. 6 people, that's it. Marco's aunt, I'll call her Diane, had been a low-key problem since we got engaged. Not loud about it, just constantly suggesting things. A different venue, a different menu. Whether we really needed a DJ, normal nightmare stuff. We seated her at table 3, good view, good company, right near the dance floor, more than fair. So when I came back from taking photos by the garden and found someone sitting in my chair. In my dress? No, not my dress, Diane, sitting in my chair. I walked over calm, genuinely calm. I was not going to be the screaming bride, and I said, Diane, hey, I think there's been a mix-up. This seat's mine. And she smiled at me, just smiled like I'd said something charming. Oh, I know, sweetie. I just thought since I'm family, it made more sense for me to be up here. You understand? I did not understand. I told her the seating had been really carefully planned and her table was right over there. I pointed at it, and it was a great spot. She waved her hand, actually waved her hand at me. Table 3 is practically in the corner. I'm not going to sit in the corner at my nephew's wedding. Beat 2, I got Marco. He came over, arm around her, very warm, very patient. God, I love that man. And he said, Aunt Diane, we'd really love for you to be at your table. We put you there on purpose. And she looked at him, her own nephew, the groom, on his wedding day, and said, Marco, your wife seems a little stressed. Maybe she should sit down, meaning at table 3. She was suggesting I go sit at table 3. At my own wedding, I'm not going to lie, I blacked out a little. Beat 3. I tried one more time. I offered her a compromise. We could bring her chair right up next to the head table, right alongside it, so she'd basically be with us. Close as you could get without actually being at the table. She considered it for about 2 seconds and then said, I don't really do symbolic gestures. Either I'm at the table or I'm not. And then she picked up the place card with my name on it, turned it face down, and set her clutch on top of it. That was the moment, the place card, face down, my name. I picked up her clutch, held it out to her, and said very quietly, very clearly, Diane, get up. She blinked. Excuse me? Get up from my seat, right now, or I will ask the venue coordinator to escort you out, and I will do it loudly enough that everyone here will know why. And then she detonated. She stood up good, finally, but then she turned to the room and she actually said out loud to 60 people holding champagne flutes, This is how she talks to family. On her wedding day, Marco, are you hearing this? Marco was hearing it. Everyone was hearing it. She pointed at me and said, She's been rude to me all night. I've been nothing but gracious, and now I'm being threatened over a chair? A chair, my chair, at my own wedding. I looked at her for a second, and I know this is the part people are going to say I went too far, and I said, loud enough that the room could hear it, You moved yourself to the head table without asking. You told the groom's mother she was overreacting. You turned my place card face down. If that's gracious, Diane, I'd hate to see difficult. Her mouth opened. Nothing came out. The venue coordinator, bless her, she'd been watching the whole thing from near the bar, walked over. She didn't ask what happened, she'd seen it. She put her hand out toward the aisle and said to Diane, calmly and professionally, Ma'am, I'm going to need you to return to your assigned table. If you're not comfortable at table 3, I can arrange for a car. The room was absolutely silent. Diane looked at the coordinator, looked at Marco, looked at me. And then, for the first time all night, she sat down. At table 3, she didn't speak during dinner. She left before the cake was cut. And here's the thing, I keep replaying that moment where I said it loud enough for the room to hear. Part of me knows it was the right call. Part of me wonders if I handed her a story she's been telling ever since. Honestly, though, what would you have done? Drop it in the comments, I genuinely want to know. And follow for a new story every day.